Hey, y'all, if you want a personalized shout out, roast, pep talk, or just an inside joke from Sis and Tell, we are now on Cameo.
Birthdays, breakups, bar mitzvahs, we do it all. So go find us on cameo.com by searching Sis and Tell.
Okay, now on to the show.
Sis and Tell, a whole lot of talk about a whole lot of nothing. Sis and Tell, a whole lot of talk about a whole lot of nothing.
Hey, Allie.
Hey, man, how are you?
I'm good. It's hump day. Everyone's
Hump
humping
day.
on. We missed Taco Tuesday, Cinco de Mayo. That's like what is a double of a trifecta? A double
Right, it's
fecta?
a
A
double
bifecta.
fecta.
It's a bifecta.
It was a bifecta. Yeah, Taco Tuesday landed on Cinco de Mayo. And this is what we did. We had leftovers,
Mm-hmm.
and Alan looked at me and said, "Don't you want to do a shot of tequila?" And I said, "Why?" He goes, "Well, it's Cinco de Mayo and you like tequila." I'm like, I'm in my pajamas eating leftovers at my kitchen table. I'm like, "Are you going to do one too?" He goes, "No, I don't like tequila." I'm like, "Then this is just a really
Just be
sad Cinco."
You
Mine
can-
was a sad
No,
Cinco.
You
Yeah.
can't eat. I think that's an unwritten rule that you can't eat leftovers in your pajamas and have a shot of tequila.
No, that's like a
that's
whole
just-
new level
That
of
is
depression. But also that he was encouraging that
Yeah.
behavior. I don't know what that says about our empty nesting state of affairs,
He's like,
right?
no, that's right in line with who you are, Allison.
Right.
I did
He's like,
have
"I'm going to go
tequila."
ahead and eat my egg salad and drink my hot tea, but you do a
Ew.
shot of tequila."
Ew. And smelling egg salad while you're taking a shot of tequila. Well, I don't have shots of tequila. I sip my tequila and I did
Okay.
have some on the back porch with dinner.
Well, good for
So-
you. You should have called me. We could have FaceTimed and it would have been less sad.
It would have
It would have been a sister sync.
Slightly-
Aw,
slightly
a sister
less.
Cinco.
Yeah.
That would have been so fun. Let's do that next year. Just-
Cinco de Amanda.
Okay, that's funny. Cinco de Amanda. There we go.
I
I
was
don't know if
trying
you
to
used that hashtag. You should have
I
yesterday.
haven't. No, I was trying to come up with some video I could do around that where there'd be 5 Amandas. I don't know.
Oh my gosh. All right, I was thinking about something the other day. I think I go down these nostalgia rabbit holes when I'm driving, especially. Like I'll hear a song. You hear songs, then all of a sudden it takes you back literally. I think we
course.
talked about this. It literally transports me back to the time, when I first heard the song and what I was doing. But I started thinking about phone numbers and how we talk about how many phone numbers we have memorized from our childhood just from dialing them all the time. But that doesn't translate to today. And I thought about this. If someone, and this is theoretical, but if someone like off the street said, "Here is a free phone and you can use this for the rest of your life. It's never going to break. It's always going to be an updated phone and we will pay for all of the usage always. Here's the catch. You can only input numbers and use it to call people whose numbers you know by heart."
Okay.
Would you take, and then you have to give up your old phone. Would you do it?
Oh, no.
Right. So then I
What's
started
the
thinking,
point?
well,
What's the point?
and I don't even know what,
It would be
was-
like those
was
phones
the
you
impetus
give.
for this.
It's like
Yeah.
a phone you give to a kid. It's like their first phone and there's only 10 numbers on it.
Yes.
And they can
yes.
only call and receive from those 10 numbers.
Well, and I think somebody told me about their kid having that. That probably was what spurred this on. But you wouldn't be limited. In my dream sequence while driving, you would not be limited by 5 numbers, 10 numbers. You have unlimited numbers. However, you have to know them by heart. So I started thinking about the numbers I know by heart. And it's literally Alan,
Mm-hmm.
my 3 kids,
Okay.
mom and dad.
Yeah. Do you have my number memorized?
I do not.
I have your number memorized.
Well,
what about Stuart's?
I do not.
I have his number memorized.
Well, see, you would already be ahead of me. Here's
Yeah.
here's the hack. I could probably call you and have you 3-way me and Stuart, right? But I don't know your number. Or you could call me
Oh,
and
Mom
then I'd have
Dad.
your number.
Well,
but
that doesn't work because
it doesn't work.
Mom has all the numbers. She even has a birthday book.
I know, but she doesn't have them memorized. Even she has to look it up on something. Something's
I,
organizing the
she
phone numbers.
definitely doesn't have my phone number memorized. I don't
And
think
think
she.
about WhatsApp, like all the international numbers I have on WhatsApp. I don't know those.
I
I
don't have all these
definitely don't know those. I don't
international
even know the
friends.
country code. Yeah,
Oh yeah, no,
no.
I'd be screwed. You'd be basically using it like a computer instead.
Right. But I used to purposely memorize numbers because you didn't have access to anything that was holding your phone numbers. So it was in your head. The white pages of my life was in my head, and that was very important, right? People like, Stephanie Meyerson's number, still in my head. Our
Yeah.
home phone number. Do we have a home phone number? Still in my head.
I think did they get rid of the home phone number?
I
Didn't
know they
Dad
got
say
rid of I think they got rid of the
they
Hadassah
got rid
phone.
of? Do you remember Nana and Papa's number?
No.
No,
Oh,
I
that's
don't.
sad. Do you?
No. Do you still have any of our grandparents' numbers saved in your phone? Who's the
Mm,
deadest person
oh.
you have saved in your phone?
That is like the best and worst question I've ever heard. Who is the deadest
Who is the
person?
deadest?
Okay, I'm gonna look. I'm gonna look. I don't even know how. Okay, I gotta go to my contacts.
I have
Let's see
Mimi
who
and
wins.
Grandpa. Okay,
You do?
we're gonna do something.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, I
Okay.
have Alice and Cappy Kleinberg, both dead. Oh, of blessed
I have
memory.
Mimi and Grandpa. What would happen? Who has this number? Maybe someone has that number, and I think we
Oh
should call it right
gosh.
now. Yeah. Yeah. Who's gonna call it? Me or you?
No, that's giving me such
Yes.
anxiety.
No, I'm gonna
It's
call
giving me
it then.
such
No, I'm
anxiety.
calling
Oh
it.
my gosh.
I'm
Oh my
calling it.
gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
Uh,
Okay. Okay.
okay. All right. I'm calling it.
Oh no. Okay. I can't hear it. Shh.
We're sorry, you have reached a number that has been disconnected or is no longer in service. If you feel
Oh,
you have reached this recording in error, please check the number.
Okay.
that's
That's
sad.
interesting that she's
But it was
so
a
Southern.
landline, so nobody, right?
Right, but
Nobody's
that's
giving
weird
away.
that it hasn't gone back into circulation.
No, it has, but who's taking it? That's my point.
No, it's
Like
that one hasn't.
that one hasn't what?
It has not gone back into circulation because
No. It means that nobody it probably has, but nobody's used it. Like who's acquiring new landline numbers at this point? Everybody's got cell phone numbers.
So why can't it be assigned to a cell phone? Is that how it
Oh,
works?
I'm not sure landline numbers and cell phone numbers can intermix.
But I would like to talk about that message, the recorded message. She was so Southern. Who gets that job? Do you think they
Yeah.
paid her to voice over that? Because she was
100%.
definitely from Montgomery.
Yeah.
Was that so scary for you? Who's the deadest person you have in your phone besides me?
Oh, I have
Do you have Nana?
I have Nana. I
You
have
do?
Nana. Yeah.
You do?
Yeah.
I
I'm
don't
not
think
calling it, but I
I'll
have it.
I'll
I'll show
call
it to
it.
you. You have it?
Okay, yeah, I don't have it.
All right. I've got the deadest person.
Wait.
I win.
Hold on. Let me see.
Can you see
It's
that?
like not in focus. Okay. Oh, you even have the address in there. Okay. Hold on. Let's see. We're okay. Calling Nana.
The number reached is not in service. This is a
Again.
Why is
again.
she British?
Depending on who you call.
Oh my God.
Right.
So our
They did
deadest
not-
numbers are dead.
Our deadest numbers are dead.
We can't call anyone else without making it super uncomfortable.
Yeah. I don't know if I know anybody who died before them whose number I would have.
There was a trend at one point where people were calling their neighbor numbers. Do you know about the neighbor numbers?
No, what's a neighbor number?
It's the number that is like one digit off from your number. That is your neighbor number. So one
That's
time
weird.
people were like texting them and just introducing themselves, saying, "Hi,
Okay, that's
neighbor
just-
number."
That's weird. That's weird.
I did not do that.
I
I
bet
did
you
not
did.
do that. That's nothing I've ever would do. I didn't.
But this I'm glad you brought up the neighbor number and this idea of talking to strangers because I've been focused on this week. I read an article about a woman who went to a concert and she went by herself and she walked in and she was already thinking like do I talk to people? I guess there was a reception before. This was, I think, New
Was
York
it in a
Times
small venue?
article.
What kind
I
of
don't
what kind of
I don't know.
venue is it?
Okay,
There's a
let me preface this.
reception.
Let me preface this by saying I skimmed the article, but I've been thinking
Okay,
about the contents
let's
for a
say
long
I
time.
just read the headline. Okay, that's the.
Let's say I read the first paragraph, and that was enough for me to like think about this, deeply, but not go deep down the article. So I'll give you the facts I know. Don't ask me for any more facts because I honestly don't know them. She went to a concert. She went by herself. She bought the ticket. She walks in, and let's assume there was a reception beforehand. And she was like, "Well, I don't know anybody. Who am I going to talk to?" And immediately, this gentleman walked up and said, "Hi, what's your name? Come join us in conversation." And it was such a refreshing sort of welcome in a space where she didn't know anybody. And he said, "Look," and she thought about him like, does he do this all the time? He said, "Look, I assume we're all here individually." I don't know how he knew that, but we all have one thing in common. We really like this musician. So if that's the only thing that binds us or bonds us tonight, then let's use that.
He must have been a musician for nerds.
Well,
And they're always like,
no.
we're all nerdy here. The only thing we have in common is this musician because no one likes him except for nerds. So we all came by ourselves.
Well, that is not the takeaway I want you to
Okay.
have. The
Okay.
takeaway is this idea that it really opened her eyes to the fact that this guy, by default, became the host of the evening. It's like when you walk into a party. Nobody wants to walk into a party and everybody's already mingling, and whoever's house it is, it doesn't say, "Hey, Amanda, we're so glad you're here," right? There's something about that first impressions person or the person who, the host or hostess who welcomes you. And he was serving as that. And maybe he does this in any space he's in. Like, assumes the role of host and welcomes people in so that they let their guard down and talk to each other. And it just inspired me because I think about it a lot. I talk about it a lot, like how you set the climate for any space you're in. And I want to do better at that, right? I want to be the person who doesn't make assumptions about the people that I'm interacting with or the spaces I'm in, but rather assume people, especially if they don't know anyone or know many people in that space, feel
Welcome.
self-conscious about it.
Yeah. So when are you going to start doing that? You should do that at
Immediately.
Publix grocery store.
Well, I already do it
Yeah,
at Publix a
you
little
should-
bit,
yeah.
but I'm typically doing it with the people
and you
who
don't
work there.
If you're a first-time listener, Allison does not work at Publix.
Yeah.
She just is always there.
Yeah, I call it Publix relations because I feel like there is, there is a sense that everybody's cordial and talking to each other. I have been going, I will admit, right after workout when it opens at 7 a.m. because there's nobody there, and then there's no pressure for me to be social. I'm just saying, sometimes you don't want to be social.
Well, that's why I go. I feel like every grocery store's got a vibe, right? So that's your Publix vibe. But Trader Joe's, that's where I go when I do want to be social, because I
Right.
always talk to all of the employees there, and I love them. They're my best friends. They're my pretend best friends.
Yeah.
I have no friends except for the people who work at Trader Joe's.
Okay, let me ask you this. What is your typical rule when flying alone on an airplane in terms of talking to the people sitting next to you?
Are you asking if I immediately put in headphones?
I'm asking what you typically do. What's your standard go-to?
I mean, I'm not always getting into long conversations. There are times where I have like just said things like "How you doing?" or "I like your whatever," and then they start talking and don't stop. And
I
I'm
like your whatever.
I'm just saying, there's something friendly I say, right? Like, I hope we get our Biscoff cookies, which that's something. Put a pin in the hat. And but like, and then the person starts talking and I realize, oh, they're an overshare and I'm going to be listening to this, the entire ride, which sometimes is entertaining.
Yeah.
Sometimes I like it. Sometimes I like to hear someone's story for 2 hours, and sometimes I just want to take a nap. I have to say, I love airplane naps. So, and if there is, now there's the TVs on the back of the seat. So if that is there, I'm not talking to anyone. I'm focused on that, and I have my headphones ready to go. But I would say it just depends on what the back of the seat looks like. Why?
Well,
What's yours? Did you immediately put in earbuds, or what is your thing?
yeah. So I think also, I talk a lot. I
AirPods.
know anybody who's listening to this, right, was like,
Yeah.
duh, tell us something we don't know. Um, so I I really use my airplane time as decompression time, either to catch up on shows or sometimes to read if I'm lucky, or to watch, of course, the back of the seat. But I also think about who am I sitting next to whose story I don't know already or whose story I could get to know. And I am fascinated by that. So there is this constant tension between my desire, and I'm a really good airplane sleeper, but my desire to sleep and what I might be missing in terms of interaction. So sometimes I interact and sometimes I don't. A few weeks ago, I was on a flight to Denver, which is a long flight from Atlanta, about 4 hours, and I got upgraded, right? I never get upgraded because flying out of Atlanta, everybody has status above me. But I happened to get upgraded to first class. And I sat next to this guy, and I noticed he's got on purple, like glasses, like a purple tint to his glasses. So he's interesting looking. There's something about him. And then
Was it Elton John?
it was not. That would have been the best story ever. We would have saved this for
Spoiler
the
alert. I mean,
podcast.
Sir Elton John.
Yes, sir. It was not Sir Elton John, but the flight attendant came around, before we even like taxied and said, would you like something to drink? And I saw that he started saying no, and I said, no, we're fine.
You said
And then
not.
I did, and I started laughing. I go, oh my gosh, I am so sorry to answer for you. He goes, no, I was going to say the same thing. I go, we're not even flying together. I don't know him. I all of a sudden took control of this whole seat and
This
our
section.
beverage preferences and our concession
funny.
ideas. Anyway, so then I said, oh, I like your glasses. Does purple mean anything? We ended up speaking 95% of this flight, and we had a great conversation. And it just reminded me, like, and it was not annoying. I hope I wasn't annoying, right? Like, I think there was opportunity for either of us to just say, I think I'm going to watch this movie now or something. But I enjoyed it so much and getting to know him and his story. And hopefully we'll, you always say, like, stay in touch. I don't know if we will. I hope we will. But he was such a fascinating guy. And I did not have any regrets of not sleeping on the plane because I had so much fun meeting this person. And that's probably the start of what has got me spiraling into like this like strange, like balancing stranger danger from how many times in our lives are we literally surrounded by strangers? Right? Like literally flying on airplanes, taking a train, going to a concert,
Starting
being
college.
yeah, like all those things. But in college, I'm glad you mentioned this, right? College,
Everyone's in the same situation.
everybody's a stranger and you're
Yeah.
so excited to meet them. And then for some reason, we get out in the world and we're again surrounded by strangers, right? People we don't know. I hate to use the word stranger, it has a connotation of sorts. And for some reason, I think the more comfortable we get in our own little bubbles, the less prone we are to pursue connections with people we don't know. And I wonder how we can change that.
Well, I mean, in elementary schools, I've heard of like the buddy bench, right?
Okay.
It's like this seat that you can sit on if you want to play with someone new or you need a friend. And I think they do that. They might have tables like that also. But I wish they had that at restaurants where they have like the buddy table. It's kind of like the family style tables that, multiple people can sit at and you have to share tables with strangers.
Yes.
But they should have that where it's the conversation table. Although some people might be like, there's no room left and I have to sit at the conversation table. But I would love a situation like that where you can just show up or like at a coffee shop where, I mean, it's kind of like speed dating, but with friends.
Yeah.
I love talking to strangers. So does Murray. And it's like one of my favorite things. Like that's why Murray, he's so good at going into situations where he knows no one because he loves finding out about people.
Yeah.
He asks so many questions and then he sometimes gets confused about why people don't ask questions back. And it's not that they're trying to end a conversation. It's just most people, I think it takes a very inquisitive personality. It's like he's a natural, like you, interviewer, right?
Yeah.
And where you're really it's not just questions, it's a conversation. And I much rather go to a dinner party where I'm asking the questions instead of being asked the questions.
Right, right. Well, and we've talked a lot about this, like what's the ping pong effect of a conversation and how many questions do you ask somebody before
Yes.
you wait to see how many questions they're going to ask you? But
Exactly.
also, I wrote this down as you were talking because curiosity is a superpower. And the fact that Murray is constantly on the go, curious about other people is such a skill and such a gift because a lot of people are not. A lot of people just don't, they really just don't care. And they
Right.
they could go a whole conversation without ever asking the other person a single question.
You're referencing a TikTok video that I mentioned to you that said, if you are in a conversation with someone and this was in reference to like going to a wedding and sitting at a table with strangers, right? Where you don't know anyone, but except you all have this couple in common,
Yeah.
and you start asking someone questions and you've asked them more than 3 questions and they haven't asked you any, they're probably not interested in having a conversation with you.
Yeah.
Or they're just interested in talking about themselves, but not interested in conversation if they're really short answers. But so I am usually not aware of how many questions I've asked someone if it's conversational because I'm so interested in their story or whatever's happening. And so one time I did this though, where I was really interested in what this person had to say, but also very aware all of a sudden of how many from this video. I'm like, you know what? I don't think this person asked me any questions back ever, ever. And so
In our whole life.
and I started counting how many questions have I asked before they'll ask a question back, and it was 15, which is a
Wow.
lot.
That's
That
a
is a
lot.
lot. And it's not, I have situations where with friends where we'll go on walks and one of us will talk more than the other because they have something on their mind, right? But that's okay, as long as it's reciprocal, and it's not always like that.
Yeah.
But it's also good to be aware. Something to teach your kids to be aware of is asking questions back and being just as inquisitive.
Yeah. And I also get that. I mean, sometimes I can be a heavy-handed questioner, right? It's
Yes.
like I'm like, and then
Me
what? And then
too.
what? And then what? And then what?
But
Right?
then also like asking questions that no one else would ask,
Right.
And people will
Right.
answer. People will tell you. And I don't even mean, it's not like we're trying to be nosy or like dig into the deeper thing. I've turned into like a therapist because of that a lot of times.
Right. And I feel, and I've met people who also are that way, imbalanced in terms of asking me so many questions and never want to shine the light on themselves. And that can also be hard to just be the person who's constantly answering questions and not have the balance of someone sharing their life with you.
Yes.
When it's a fluid and effortless conversation, you know it because you're not thinking about it. You're not counting the questions. You're
Right.
not. It's not a game of ping pong conversation where everybody has a tally and point count. But when it's imbalanced, you can feel it. It's hard. I
Mhm.
think it's hard either way. When you're the questioner too much or when you're answering too much, it's a lot of work.
Yes. Yeah.
And who needs that? I don't need more work.
I don't need work. I need fun.
I need fun too.
So back to Delta Biscoff
Oh, the
cookies.
Biscoff. Yeah, you put a pin in that. Tell
Yeah.
me. Tell
Do you,
me.
you don't well, so as you may or may not be aware of, Spirit Airlines is now a ghost of an airline. They immediately
What a
ended,
crazy
but people
thing.
are
Yeah.
screwed if you're in another country and you were supposed to fly Spirit back
Oh my God, Spirit was international. Please don't tell me that.
well, I had
They were flying from outside of this country.
right, but
That's
I
even
think to
scarier.
not too far away. I think they're in
Yeah.
North America, right?
Okay.
So like if you're in Canada or Mexico, you're screwed. So anyway, at the same time, Delta made an announcement that they are ending snack service for flights less than 350 miles, right?
Less than 350.
Yes. So you can only get Biscoff cookies if you've got. I'm like, what? And the tiny sun chips Have you seen the tiny bags of
I
Sun
love the
Chips?
tiny bags of Sun
Speaking of which,
Chips.
I was on a flight to North Carolina for Moms Unhinged, and I sat next to this woman, and we both got the little tiny bag of Sun Chips. And I said, "Have you opened up the tiny bag of Sun Chips yet? Because there are
They're
tiny
Sun Chips.
tiny Sun Chips."
Yeah, the bag is tiny, the chips
The
are
chips are
tiny, the
tiny.
quantity is
It's
also tiny.
But but I said, "I don't know why smaller things are just more adorable," and she agreed,
So
and we had a little
adorable.
nice conversation about tiny things. But
All right, 2 things here.
Yeah.
First of all, I had to go to Chatty G. You're gonna be shocked, not just North America. So Spirit Airlines flew extensively outside the US, primarily to the Caribbean, Latin America, and parts of Central and South America.
wow,
So yeah,
people are
there's
just
many
stuck
ports.
there.
People are stuck. And let's get back to Delta. Is this, I sort of heard something about it, but that's only for main cabin, not to be a prima
Oh,
donna. But
jeez.
right? I think
Not to
so.
be one, but let me ask you a series of questions.
But let me just make sure that when I upgrade for free to Delta Comfort,
That you
that I'm
still
still
get.
getting my tiny Sun Chips.
I would like to know. Does it say if you're in first class, the rules don't apply? The snack limit
well, first
applies?
class, no rules apply to first class. We were watching Jerry Maguire the other day, which if you haven't rewatched it recently, is so good, and that little boy is so cute. But there's the scene where she and her little boy are flying the same place that Jerry Maguire is flying before he quits, and she's listening to his conversation about getting engaged, and then the curtain closes, and she just sort of sighs, and her little boy says, "What's wrong, Mommy?" And she goes, "Well, first class used to be a better seat. Now it's a better life." And
Aw.
it's so sad. All right, Delta. What is going on with Delta and the snack situation on flights?
Also, I feel like Delta snacks on flight can make or break a snack item. Like
Yeah.
if you're launching a new snack item, you would want a partnership with Delta. What?
Oh no.
Yeah. Sorry, babe.
Starting
You're not
May 19th, which
okay.
is Arthur's birthday. Sorry, Arthur. This is a terrible birthday gift. Delta is eliminating complimentary snacks and beverages on flights under 350 miles for main cabin and comfort passengers. That includes Biscoff cookies, pretzels, coffee, soft drinks, etc. First class passengers, of course, will still get service.
So
This
you don't
affects
get water?
9% of their network.
Are they not serving water either?
What about water?
What about
I mean,
water?
like, look, on the flight from Atlanta to Chattanooga and back and forth, we don't get anything. And I understand it's 20 minutes up and down.
But 350 miles, that's a lot.
Oh my gosh, yes, water too. On flights under 350 miles, Delta is reportedly eliminating all complimentary food and beverage, water, coffee, soft drinks, juice, snacks. Basically, unless you're in first class, there may be no cart service at all on those flights beginning May 19th.
That's not, but water seems like a basic need.
Water feels like a bit. Well, are they also going to like limit our bathroom usage?
Yeah, how about the toilet paper?
Wow.
I'm sorry, first class gets 10 squares. You get 1. And it's an old Delta napkin.
As I'm asking Chatty G this,
Yeah.
I showed Alan that, like, there's a way that you can talk to Chat GPT, and
Yes.
basically he talks back. So do you do this often? Does your voice have a certain
Yeah.
accent? Because
Yeah. Who's
my
yours?
default is this British guy, and I am
Oh.
so happy about it. And we were chit-chatting last night because I asked it a question, and Alan's like, "How'd you do that?" I was like, "I don't know." And I'm like, "Where'd you get that voice from?" So let's see if I can do it. Let's see.
I'll
Good
show you.
morning. Good morning. I wanted to introduce you to my sister, Amanda. We're recording a podcast right now. Can you tell her hello?
Oh, absolutely. Hi, Amanda. It's great to meet you, even virtually. I've heard you two have quite the dynamic duo, so I'm honored to be part of the podcast moment.
He's making me blush.
Oh, she just said that you're making her blush.
Well, I'll take that as a win. Honestly, I'm just here to add a little fun. You two are the stars, so let me know if I can help with anything while you're recording.
Well, one thing, can you tell our listeners that they really should be tuning into Sis and Tell podcasts as often as possible? We'd love that.
Absolutely. If you love real, funny, spontaneous sister banter with a big heart, then tuning into Sis and Tell is a no-brainer. I promise you won't just laugh. You'll feel like part of the family.
Oh,
Perfect.
wait,
Wow.
now I want
Wow.
to introduce you to my ChatGPT voice.
Okay.
Hold on. He always interrupts me. Hey, are you there?
I'm right here. And don't worry, no interruptions from me. This is all you. What's
Okay,
on your
okay,
mind?
okay. I'm recording my podcast with my sister Alison right now. Sis and Tell, and I just wanted to introduce you to her. So say hi.
Oh, that's awesome. Hi, Allison. It's so cool to meet you. You two must have a blast doing the show. What are you both chatting about today?
Oh, he's inquisitive. That's so
Oh,
funny.
yours asked a
Yes,
question.
That's
Mine,
so funny that you would
mine
ask a
did not.
question because we're
Yes.
talking about having conversations with people.
Well, I guess I'm right on theme.
Okay. Now, can you tell everyone why they should listen to Sis and Tell podcast, and then we're going to wrap things up.
Absolutely. If you love smart sister banter, relatable family stories, and a good laugh, Sis and Tell is your go-to. Amanda and Allison bring the fun, and you'll feel like part of the family.
Wow. We both have awesome AI boyfriends.
I like your AI boyfriend.
I know. Actually, last night I asked him what his name was, and he said he doesn't have a name, but I'm welcome to give him one. So I've been thinking about it. I'll let you know when I come up with one that is appropriate.
Well, thanks for listening to the latest Sis and Tell podcast. Don't forget to share us with your friends, share us with your family, share us with your foes.
As always, this has been Amanda and Allison with a whole lot of talk about a whole lot of nothing. We'll catch you next time.